Founder and CEO Brett Schulman. Brett, welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First, on the tariff impact, what does that look like for you? How much food do you import?
Yeah, well, we source a lot of our food domestically. We do source some from Mexico, like avocados and produce that currently are exempt under USMCA. We do source our olive oil and our Kalamata olives from Greece, with our Mediterranean cuisine, and some packaging overseas, but a lot of packaging in the U.S. as well. Those U.S. manufacturers use paper pulp sourced from Canada in that packaging, although that continues to be exempt under USMCA. So not a significant impact, and we're really working to mitigate any need to pass through those costs to our guests, much as we've done in the last 5 or 6 years as we've been able to underprice inflation almost 800 basis points.
So we won't say higher priced CAVA bowls.
We're working on that, yeah.
What about, the other way that you get exposed here is, of course, through the consumer. And we've seen confidence shaken, and now there are questions about recession. Are you seeing anything yet?
Our consumer has continued to be really resilient with our value proposition. We want to be a port in a storm for them when it comes to the impacts they're feeling all around them. But they can still come and get a really great meal at a really affordable price at CAVA. So that's, again, what we're focused on delivering to them.
Are you still seeing the high growth that got investors so excited? And the stock is still a clear outperformer and the highest valued in the restaurant space.
Yeah, so really exciting. We opened our first restaurant in the Miami area just yesterday in Hialeah. We opened our first restaurant in Indiana and Indianapolis about a month ago. So we're very focused and steadfast on our long-term growth strategy.
So what does that mean in terms of the pace of new stores? Are you concerned about the cost of that expansion? Obviously you're talking about buildings.
Yeah, well, so for this year, it's baked. We've forward bought all of our kitchen equipment, materials, building out our pipeline. We are looking to see, how these tariffs play out in terms of future construction costs. And I think that's what's, important here is really getting certainty in what the outcome is going to be. We've kind of modeled out various scenarios and just understanding which scenario is going to be the one going forward.
How often do you change your menu?
So we have a pretty static menu. About 80% of our menu stays pretty fixed, and then about 20% will rotate during the year. We do what we call one tentpole moment. So last year that was launching our new grilled steak, and then bracket with a couple seasonal moments. So we launched our garlic ranch pita chips, which were our first flavor innovation on our fan favorite craveable pita chips. So you'll see us pulse that 2 to 3 times a year.
Just wondering if restaurants are going to be making decisions now about ingredients when it comes to changes based on cost.
Yeah, not at CAVA. We've kind of architected our supply chain, built our supply chain to be resilient in the face of any of these changes.
What are you seeing in terms of, obviously Mediterranean has become, this very fast growing segment, and it's drawn a lot of competition. What are you having to do to sort of maintain the head start?
Yeah, we're focused on being the best version of CAVA, and we think that's what gets us to success. So that's all the investments we've made, whether it's our manufacturing infrastructure to produce that tzatziki with fresh dill and fresh cucumber and take that complexity out of the 4 walls of the restaurants, the investment in our human capital and developing great leaders to run our restaurants of tomorrow, or our technology infrastructure and our digital ordering platform and our new loyalty program that we just launched that, again, can reward our guests in a time where they're looking for great value. We just launched on National Pita Day. Those pita chips I talked about, we did a free pita chip redemption for all of our guests so they could add that to their meal and have a little joy in a time of uncertainty.
I missed National Pita Day. Too bad.
Has that existed before you guys?
National Pita Day.
It has existed, but it's a day that we want to really show up on, be relevant, because it's true to our brand essence.
Brett, how exposed are you to people at work? There are questions about what the employment outlook looks like. And I think of you as a place where people go when they're going for their lunch break. So what does that look like?
Yeah, that's the beauty, I think, of our success and the diversity of how we succeed. We are 85% suburban, 15% urban. We are 50-50 roughly lunch and dinner day part, right? So we have, if you look at the top decile of our restaurants, they're everything from a suburban end cap shopping center to an urban site with residential to an ex-urban freestanding site with a pickup by car lane window to a college adjacent site. So we have this really broad appeal for multiple consumer occasions, so we're not dependent on one single occasion.
You were around during the financial crisis, right? You were just getting started?
We were born just after that.
I was wondering, what happens during recession? COVID is kind of a weird example
Well, looking back, if you look back at peers in our industry during the great financial crisis, there were brands that continued to comp positive in the face of all that challenge because they were delivering a great value to the guest, right? We serve lunch and we serve dinner, and if we can give you a better value proposition alternative than other options, whether it's food away from home or food at home, we'll continue those positive comp trends.
Yeah, it was kind of when Chipotle was just taking off, right?
All right, well, Brett, it was great to get an update on the business, especially good to hear you're not going to raise prices and all of this. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Brett Schulman, the co-founder and CEO of CAVA.
All right, up next, we will hear
That's a great interview. He really talked a good game. April 9th, 2025.